Welcome back again.
Here we are again to a new talk, a new topic, something that is very big here at NHL Stenden.
Yes.
And one of the main reasons we chose actually to study here as well.
Yeah.
It is education and practice.
Yeah, and you maybe heard of that before, so that's why we want to ask you, which part of education and practice are you looking forward to the most? Even if you haven't heard about it, we would just like to know what you maybe are curious about. And yeah.
Education and practice very closely connected to design-based education, our educational concept.
Exactly.
And on the Mentimeter, you will see a couple different things. So we have a little poll where we would like to know, are you most interested in building your own business, in the learning companies that you might get to work with here on campus? Are you interested in the internships, or just generally in the projects that you are going to do during your studies? So please take a look at the Mentimeter, give us your vote, and then we can take a look in a minute.
Yeah, I think for me, like the internships and project parts was I think that was the most impactful one for me. Because for me, it was I studied before in a research university, right? And like you also have like internships, but you have to organize them yourself, and they're very short.
Okay, how long is short?
Short in this case was that the first one before I started studying was 8 weeks, and then I would have to do one later in the study, I think about 3 months, and also I had to do it in my free time.
All right, so one of the things we have is an internship in your fourth year, your final year, if you're doing a bachelor's degree.
Or sometimes depends on the study also earlier.
Sometimes also earlier. Sometimes you can also move some things around. But basically, you do an internship for what Shakira also said earlier, for those of you who followed the Career Opportunities talk, for either half a year, so 1 semester, or sometimes 2 semesters if you combine it with your bachelor. Shall we take a look at how many polls we got so far?
Yeah.
We have building own businesses, 8 people, nice, internships, and working on real-life projects as a main thing.
I would just assume no one really knows what learning companies means.
I think that's perfectly fine, because we're going to talk about it, and you don't need to know everything.
No, absolutely not. That's why you're here.
Right?
Exactly. But working on real-life projects, for sure, something. And building your own business, actually, we're kind of doing that right now in my study.
You're building your own business?
Well, I'm not kind of. I'm building a business for someone else. Because you can also do the whole project on your own. Yeah. But that's just something that I didn't want to do, and I didn't have a great business idea where I was like, oh, I want 3 people to join me. Okay. So I just joined someone else's idea. Yeah. And hopefully he can build upon what we're doing right now with still nobody knows what learning companies are.
That's perfectly fine.
That's really fine.
I mean, they're closely connected. I lost my thought again. That's okay. But basically, we have a lot of great things for you to explore. Building your own business. We have something called the Center of Entrepreneurship, which I'm already going to introduce to you, which is basically a little help for you if you want to build your own business. They will help you with basically any kind of resource that you need. And that's something we're not going to talk too much about in the talk, because unfortunately we don't have anyone who built their own business, if I'm correctly informed. But there's definitely a lot of opportunities with that as well. But speaking of my guests and what they might share, I would like to go over and see what we can talk about.
I will not hold you back for that, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Explore the world of education and practice.
Woo! Hello, ladies. Hello.
Hi.
It's good to see you here. Good to have you in the studio. Would you like to start by introducing yourselves? Maybe we can start on the screen with you, Barbara.
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. I am Barbara. I'm 22 years old from Hungary. I'm actually an international hospitality management student, and I'm currently in my 4th year doing my internship and writing my thesis at the same time. I'm working for a big chain called Hilton, you must know.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Roza.
So hi everyone, my name is Roza, I'm from Russia and I'm the 2nd year student of communication multimedia design. I'm also doing my minor in video nurse, which I'm going to talk about it a bit later. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for coming.
Hi everyone, my name is Oana, I'm from Romania, I'm in my 2nd year at European Studies, and I'm excited to talk about the things that I'm going to share with you today, and that is mostly about my experience so far here and about study coaching.
Yeah. So thank you all for coming and hopefully sharing your perspectives. I want to call to you at home. This is really a segment where you can ask any questions that you have. I know I had a lot. I don't know how that was for you before you started. I had a lot of questions, so make sure to write them in the chat so that we can answer them here together. And then let's get started, basically. Yeah, I don't know. Let's start with you, Oana. You have a coaching experience.
Yes.
Would you like to explain a little bit how does this work? What kind of hierarchy do we have? Yeah.
Since your study is starting, you are directed to a study coach. A study coach is one of your teachers or one of your lecturers. And the study coach is here to help you and guide you with any problems that you have regarding school, studying, your schedule, your classes, and everything else any other problems that might arise later in your program.
Would you say you have a close relationship with them?
The relationship is close until one point. It cannot be very personal. You cannot basically go too far into details about your personal life, but they are always here to help you when you need something regarding school or helping you structure your schedule and basically guide you in all the problems that you have during your study. Do you also have something similar?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that on every course we have a mentor or a coach that you can every time go to, and he or she can help you with everything you have struggled with. Also, you can just schedule a meeting like anytime you want to, and you can talk about your learning process, maybe some issues that you're facing with, and yeah, mentor is a really nice person to have in your studies. Because it's really helpful every time.
Good.
Yeah, I would like to add something else. For example, when I first started my study last year, I was a little bit confused with the new system of schooling here, with how everything works, with the platform, with how to enroll myself into the exams thing. And the study coach was there to explain everything very clear to me and very patiently. So this was a good start, to be honest. Yeah.
What was different for you then, when you say you had to get adjusted a little bit?
Because I was used to the school system from my country, which is quite different. Also, I used to go to university back in my home country in Romania, and because all the universities and the schools are research
universities.
And universities, and here it's applied sciences, and it's a bit different.
Yeah,
like we really apply what we are learning, and this is different, from what I had before. Yeah.
I see a lot of agreement from you, Barbara, on the screen. Would you like to hop in and share your experiences a little bit?
Yeah, I was. So I was just really agreeing with you. So I'm from Hungary, as I mentioned earlier, and for us, school back home is very theoretical based. And I think what actually caught my attention, I also went to one of these open days before even graduating my high school. And what really caught my attention when I went to this open day is the practical education. It's the fact that we really, as you mentioned earlier as well, that we really apply what we're learning, that we work with companies in order to learn the on-the-job experiences, but only already from projects. So you really get the real-life learning experience, and you don't feel like you have to be fearful when you go out there for your industry that you've chosen to work or study within. You don't feel fearful because you haven't had any experiences before. So I think it's an incredible learning experience what we go through from first to fourth year, especially in my case.
Yeah, I get that. You say, especially in your case, you study hotel management. Could you tell us a little bit, because we see lots of restaurants about university. I hear there's something special about them.
Yeah, so thank you for asking. I think it's super interesting that within hotel management, from your first year to your fourth year, you go through all the positions, the levels of I wouldn't say hierarchy, but more like the different leadership positions you can go through within hospitality industry. But this does not only have to be within operations; it can also be an office job. So as you mentioned earlier, we have a lot of restaurants. We do have cafes, restaurants. We have front office positions where we also work within our learning hotel called Notice Hotel, where students are actually managing the entire hotel from the back operations to the front operations, actually having real life guest experiences. Same with our fine dining restaurant in Vanay, where we have different type of cuisine that we showcase to our guests and to our students. And we also have different types of offices where we can get the experience of being an HR manager, where you get to work with the employees, such as your students and the employees as teachers. So I think it's super interesting that in first year, you get the experience of being a frontliner, being on the job, the very first-hand experience of hospitality. Then in your second year, you get to be a supervisor, and you choose that yourself. You choose the position you want to, and then you can enroll through a questionnaire, and then you supervise a group of students. And once you're a manager, then you're in your third year, you actually lead that entire group. You schedule the entire group. You take over the management of those 20 to 30 students. And then you really have the experience of being a manager. And then in your fourth year, you go on your internship. So then you've had all that experience, and then you can utilize it in the actual field.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think it was very easy to follow. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
I feel like hotel management is a prime example for really seeing like how one thing comes and builds onto each other.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Maybe Oana, would you like to share how that is in European studies? That's what your study is, right?
Yes. We have obviously theoretical classes, but they work hand in hand with practice. Our practice is related to group projects most of the time. Every module or every semester is rotating. Every group project is different every module.
Yeah.
You get the chance to work with different students and learn how it is to work with different people in different environments. That there are always new situations with new people. You have to learn and adjust to them all the time. So that this is quite challenging. Yeah.
I relate to that as well.
Yeah, that's true.
What would you say, maybe Roza, is the relationship or the difference between, or not the difference, but how much theoretical practice do you have and how much actually putting things into practice do you have? So lectures versus working.
Yeah. Well, basically, I would say that CMD is really practical in all of its aspects, mostly, despite the fact that we also have some lectures, but they're mostly about how to find inspiration, how to improve your learning process and stuff like that. So it's more about like soft skills in this case. Also, we have some workshops in terms of the softwares, how to use Adobe and its range of programs. But yeah, in terms of the practical part, I would say that on all of our projects, we actually test a lot of things. And as we have like communication multimedia design, we have a lot of fields of design that we can try. And as it was told before, that if you just don't know what to choose, you can just try it and then figure out what will fit best for you, which I guess is a really nice opportunity for you guys who are really interested in design as I am. So yeah, I would say that we are also, as Oana was talking, we're also working in groups a lot, but you can also do your individual projects and you have a lot of freedom in it. And you can gain a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, that's true. We also have individual projects, not as much as the group projects, to be honest. But it's a fusion of everything.
Would you then still agree with what Roza said, that the lectures that you're getting are mainly inspirational to help you on your process, or do you get a lot of content lectures in your study?
We also have something similar to what you said, and that is very helpful for example, make everything more clear when you want to do something, like guidance classes in a way or another. Yeah. This is just apart from what coaching is or whatever. They are just classes that are helping you to build up more knowledge and find a way to get that knowledge. I would say,
Thank you. Roza, I think it's time for you to share a little bit. You mentioned video nerds in the introduction. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. It's actually my favorite topic to talk about.
Perfect.
Because I really enjoy being the part of Video Nerds. So basically, for everyone who doesn't know, it's a minor. A minor is like a program which you can do, in this case, for half a year. So as a student, within your second year, you can choose whether you want to focus on which field of design. And I chose Video Nerds. And students there can basically focus more on filmmaking and video production, which is, I'm really passionate about that personally. So yeah, students there can actually learn and improve their skills in editing, script writing, filming, everything that has to do with video production process, and even acting. If you want to try yourself as an actress or an actor, you can also do that.
Wow.
That's which nice. It's so funny in some cases, but yeah. Also, we have a really tense schedule for this minor, and I'm really happy about that because I really love when it's really like you have a lot of projects and you need to actually delve into each of them and prepare stuff and also develop your skills throughout those projects. So yeah, it's really cool for people who are actually really interested in filming, and I'm so happy to be there.
So basically, just for everyone to clarify, a minor is basically a specialization, so something that you want to zoom in on, right? That we have the opportunity to do usually in our third year for most study programs.
Yeah, but in CMD it's kind of different in this case. But yeah. No, but I think it's lovely. So important thing, you specialize in something, and apparently you have found your passion, which I think is really, really nice to hear. Yeah.
I would like to come back to you, Barbara, because you're currently doing your internship. So how did you find that?
So actually, I have a very special case of finding my internship, and I hope you don't mind me elaborating on that. But I think it is such a cool opportunity every student can do in our studies. So I went to a student competition last year, which we have a lot of competitions in school that you can join based on sustainability, based on hotel innovations, based on creativity. It can be about anything. And I went to a global competition that was called the Young Talent Awards, whereby I had to work, just like our educational system, closely with an industry partner. So in order to finish this challenge, we needed to work out the project from A to Z, whereby we needed to implement something based on returning and keeping their employees, because after COVID, it was a massive topic. And basically, my group has won this challenge, and we were in Paris with the competition, and the end of the competition, the goal and the big present for us was that we could win an internship. So with this, we could actually go in the field, and I was working with the company of Hilton. And as I mentioned earlier, I am currently doing my internship for Hilton, and I'm working on a global, really cool. on a bigger scale, not a global basis, but I'm working for Europe, Middle East, and Africa, looking after 400 of our hotels for the franchise. And it's super interesting because I am working within HR, which is a close topic to me, because I love seeing the employee development and just growth within people in general. But this is a special case. So let me just tell you in general, for you on the other side, finding an internship is not hard. I think if you really are passionate about finding your own, I would say, perfect internship, you really shouldn't look for something that's perfect. Nothing is perfect in life. So there will always be learning opportunities. And I think I take this as a learning opportunity for myself. But school offers these huge fairs where you get to meet companies, where you get to talk to employees of the field. And then you can really specialize on what you want. Because every field has so many aspects, especially hospitality. Especially, I think in general. That you can really focus on whatever you want, and you will find something that will suit you.
Thank you. I think this was a really, really great elaboration, and I think your case in particular is really special, and I think it's something you can be really proud of. But it also shows how quickly you can grow within those 3 years, basically 4 years of study that we have here. So I think that's quite impressive. I don't know how you feel.
Indeed, yeah.
But maybe we can bring it back to here in our classes here a little bit, because I think the usual image that students have is you're going to sit in big lecture halls, you're going to be with 500 students, but that's not actually what we're doing. Right?
That's true.
Roza,
yes.
Would you like to share a little bit?
Sure. Actually, like this impression of sitting in the big rooms with a lot of chairs, I think that it was only for my introduction week during my first year. Because it was more about like organization part and nothing special was there. So basically me personally in my course, we have the communities. So it's just like a groups of people who
How big are they?
Sorry?
How big?
Well, it depends on the year that you are in. So, for example, during my first year, it was about like 30 people in one group, and we had two teachers there. And for the second year, it's just like your minor group, basically. So, your specialization group. So yeah, we basically just sit together with a group and we have some workshops, some classes. Basically, usually teachers are just giving us the assignment, they're explaining it, and then you as a group just start working on it. And if you have any questions, you can just ask the teachers, or you can also ask your peers, which is really valuable, I guess, because you can learn a lot from students in this study. Yeah. So yeah, it's really practical in this case, and you can choose whether you want to go to lectures or to the classes, and of course you need to go to your assessment. Yeah, but yeah, it's obvious.
I think that's the same everywhere you go. Do you have something to add maybe to that, Joanna?
Yeah, referring to what you said, when you are in a project and you have any other questions about your project, you can always go ask your lecturer or your teacher about it. They are always open to help you with whatever question you have, and whatever question you have, just ask it. Don't hold it for yourself, even though you think it's a dumb question or something. Just do it.
They're usually dumb.
Well, I think that's always a student perception, right? When you think like, oh, this might be let's call it a dumb question, but then in the end, it's probably something that a lot of people are thinking about.
Sure.
Exactly. And I think one of the big benefits is that our coaches, kind of what you were talking about earlier, are so approachable. I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it, but do you call the coaches by their last name, by their first name?
Always by their first name. Yeah.
Same for us, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit the culture here. But I think that also shows just kind of what kind of university we are and how we work together. And I think it's really good and important to point out. Thank you very much for joining the talk today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I was very happy to hear about all your experiences. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll go take a look what Jonas is doing in a minute and how far he is. Maybe there's something nice happening again.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Jonas.
So, after such a long day of studying, I always get hungry.
You do? Yeah, I can. I get that. I could have a snack.
Yeah, you know what time it is? It's feeding time. So I asked for a little bite from our canteen again, and this time we have dumplings.
Right. No cutlery. Got it. Yeah. Can do.
Yeah. I fell in love on first sight. So, back to our program.
Yep.
At 2:14.
1400.
Yeah.
2 o'clock.
Someone recently told me, 2 p.m. I got so confused.
We're too German for that. Okay. Not the point. Yeah, at 2 o'clock. What's happening at 2 o'clock?
At 2 o'clock, we have live Q&A sessions about our study programs called Business Administration, Leisure and Event Management, International Teacher Education for Primary Schools, Communication and Multimedia Design, and International Human Resource Management. And to access those, you just have to click on the session next to us.
Yeah. And here in the studio, we'll have another Day in My Life session together with Emma and Min to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as usual, for those of you who maybe haven't been around too long and want to figure out how this whole platform works, let us give you a short introduction.
First, exit the full screen mode if you are, press escape, and then you'll see 4 tiles underneath, which the first one is study at NHL Stenden, where you can find the 6 reasons why you should study at NHL Stenden, and also a lot about DBE, design-based education, our innovative educational concept, which if you were here just like 20 minutes ago, you already heard a lot about as well. Next to that, we have
our degrees. Basically, anything you want to know about any of the study programs we offer, no matter if bachelor, master, or associate degree, check that out. There's pre-recorded presentations for you so that you can take a look at what might interest you.
Exactly. And next to that, we have the open day program. So everything that happens in the studio and outside of the studio. Still online, but outside of the studio, where you can find sessions related to the topics you might be interested in.
And as always, if you have any questions for us, for our guests, put them right there in the chat so that we can pick them up during our talks and make sure that you feel well informed.
Yeah. Not to forget the plan on one-on-one student talk tile.
Sorry.
No problem. I got you. Where you can book a one-on-one student talk with a student that will hopefully answer all the questions that you have in a short time period. And also we have the Mentimeter, which we will still be using for the next hour to ask you some questions and to maybe even get some feedback later. And that's about it. We'll be right back.